let's talk about Israel's response to Iran's response, right? It was pathetic. It was a fart. What the Israelis did, and again, I was very weary of this the moment it happened because there were no videos. There was nothing to show for it. What the Israelis did is they launched 3 or 4 quadcopters. Some people are insisting that these were missiles. The point is that they didn't do anything. They didn't strike anything. Some are even questioning whether they entered Iranian airspace. The point is the Iranians shot them down. And for the Israelis to do this after they were given and fed 300 missiles and drones by Iran alone, never mind the rest of the resistance axis, it shows such weakness. It's so pathetic. It's so hilarious. Again, the Israelis asked for this. When you go and you bomb an embassy in the manner that they did, as a supposed state actor, they asked for the Iranian response. But for then this to be their rebuttal, should there even be one? No, certainly not. But for this to be their rebuttal, I mean, look at this pathetic sight, honestly. Do you see anything happening? Yeah, me neither. Compare this to the images that I showed you the other day where you had rockets flying over Jerusalem, over the Al-Aqsa Mosque. I mean, Jesus, that sight alone is something I'll never forget. And then flying over Bethlehem, flying over Nablus, being fired from Iraq. I mean, come on, man. How can you even compare? How can you even compare? I told you at the time, there's nothing the Israelis can do that's going to measure up to this response by the Iranians. And what the Israelis did is they did a fractured response. So they tried to hit Iran with this stupid crap. Then they tried as well to hit Syria and Iraq, which they did. And then also, they also went and then hit Iraq and Syria again the next day. Again, nothing that even compares. And it shows that the Israelis have lost. They've lost not only the war on the ground when it comes to their goals in Gaza, their objectives in Gaza. They've also lost because they're blockaded economically by Yemen. Iran has all of its allies beefed up, armed to the teeth, fully supported, and aided in every manner. But in addition to that, the argument, you could say, the fight, the battle between the two, it's incomparable. You know, for the Israelis to even respond to Iran's response makes no sense whatsoever, because when you're the aggressor and someone fights back, I mean, you punched them in the first place. How the hell are you going to respond to a response? You're the aggressor. Only the one who was attacked could respond. So this is the same logic when it comes to, you know, the Palestinians. The Israelis act like on October 7th, they were attacked. When it's in fact them who have been attacking the Palestinians and occupying them for 75 years. They have no right to do anything in Gaza after what they have done to the Palestinians. The Palestinians are defending themselves. The same thing is to be said of the Iranians. Now, let me explain something to you, because some people, it's really interesting. They understand a lot about the region, but then they go and they ruin everything when they say, for example, that Iran failed to issue a similar response when the genocide in Gaza was happening, right? So why did Iran only fire 300 missiles and drones when the embassy was attacked, but not when the genocide was happening? Well, you answered yourself, because the embassy was not attacked. When you attack the embassy of a country, it's an attack on the country itself. For Iran to have fired 300 missiles and drones to defend Gaza would start a regional war. That's how that would be perceived. Because when the embassy was bombed and Iran then fired all these missiles, even the Israelis knew that they deserved that crap, that they can't do anything. They knew. They asked for it. They know this. Even the Israelis know this. Where's the proof? There's no regional war. That's the proof. I mean, if you ask me, my definition of a regional war, obviously it already fits the bill with the multi-pronged, the sixth front war. But I'm talking about an actual, you know, really balls to the wall world war. Okay, now I'll just show you some additional clips from the next day when the Israelis bombed the Hashd al-Sha'bi, for example, which is the Iraqi Resistance, who again they participated in this giant response on April the 13th from the resistance axis. The Israelis went and attacked them, and this is on the 21st of April, and it was in the middle of the night, and they hit the headquarters of the well, not the headquarters, but it was the chief of staff, his headquarters, south of Baghdad, near in the Babylon district. Okay, take a look at the videos.
الضربة هنا صارت قابلة لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. هاي صواريخ العدو، الحمد لله لولا لطف الله سبحانه وتعالى.
Here, there are more of these clips. Massive explosions, you know. So these airstrikes were they resulted in 1 person being killed and I think 8 wounded. But it's really the extent, is as far as it goes in terms of an Israeli rebuttal to the Iranian response. What a weird sentence, what a weird phrase. But again, you know, the Israelis, what could they have done? I mean, the Americans, they, as weird as it sounds, they don't want to get involved in a regional war. They're already in one, if you ask me, but they don't want it to escalate. Okay. Now, there are some people saying, I think this was Pepe Escobar who reported this. He said that the Israelis tried dropping a nuclear bomb at altitude, not meant to hit the ground, but to explode, detonate in altitude, and then trigger what is essentially an electromagnetic pulse, an EMP, fry all the electronics, and that the Russians shot it down before, before the coupling, before it was dropped, and so on. Now, I don't know if this is true. I wouldn't be surprised if it were true, because the Israelis are that insane. Yes, I absolutely believe that they might do something like this. Yes, I mean, look at what they're doing in Gaza. Why is this out of character? It's not. I don't know if it happened. I certainly trust Pepe, and I have no reason to doubt the story. It's just for me, I'm looking at the end result. You know, whether this actually happened or not, the end result is that Iran's volley of rockets far exceeds anything the Israelis have been able to put together. Now, some people are saying that these quadcopters or drones that were launched the other day, they were not even launched by the Israelis, but maybe by the MEK or from people that are allied with Israel inside of Iran. Basically, you know, a bunch of idiots who are underground. The point is, it doesn't change anything, right? It doesn't make Iran look weak. It makes the Israelis look weak. Iran punched them back, hit the Israelis hard, and walked away. That's it. So we shouldn't get distracted, though. I'll tell you why. Because the Israelis would love to now frame the entire thing as, oh, look, we're such victims, the Iranians are attacking us, no. Or that, you know, it's an Israel-Iran war. It's not. It's a war of national liberation for Palestine. And the Iranians just so happen to be the ones giving weapons to all the people who want to get colonizers out of their land. That's it. That's it. They want colonizers off their land. And the Iranians are happy to help. It's as simple as that. You don't have to complicate it, right? So it doesn't change the dynamic, and we shouldn't take the focus away from Gaza. I don't think it is. I certainly don't think it takes any focus away from me. This is one war, right? Whether the front is in Iran or it's in Gaza or in Yemen or the West Bank or Syria, it's the same conflict, right? So we just shouldn't allow the Israelis to make it seem like it's all about Iran. That's what I'm trying to say. I found this funny video, and it says this is leaked footage of Israeli quadcopter clash with air defense in Isfahan.
سیریه که فرمودین اینجا اصفهان و نهادات نفسگیر مقابله تدافن با ریزپرنده اسقاطیلی.
I think that about, that just about sums it up, right? Again, YouTube demonetized my channel because I'm not allowed to say naughty things about Israel. Telling the truth is forbidden. So if you are able to donate a few dollars on PayPal or on a monthly basis on Patreon, please consider doing it because it would really help me continue my journalism and support independent media. So I'd be very grateful. And the links are in the description and also in the chat. Thank you guys very much again for all your donations and all your kind comments. I appreciate it very much.